Hello everyone, I'm here in the middle of this Let's Play. I thought we might want to go ahead and take a look. What's my thing set to here? 150. Let's see if I can shrink it down closer to 100 here. That's a little closer. Let's go ahead. There we go. And now adjust this. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. But yeah, I got a few videos into this Let's Play and realized I never went over the story or the manual. So, a couple of videos into this, I will probably be referencing things that come up in the manual. But let's go ahead and go through this together, shall we? We're going to start a little ways down at the bottom because, here we go, the story of Minax. We're going to start here so we can actually see what we're doing and why we're doing it in this game. So the story of Minax. When the arch-evil Mondaine was finally overcome by a gallant knight, was it you? Confess. Rumors abounded. The most fearful one was that, at the time of his demise, Mondaine had been training an apprentice, a protege with amazing, powerful, natural, magical abilities. The rumor was squelched when colleagues of his conqueror entered his castle and found no sign of anyone. Life during Mondaine's time of power was terrible. Never had a prince of darkness wielded so brutal a stick. Mondaine was a disease on the landscape. He reigned over all the evils ever known, and more, he brought them all to fruition on Earth and in its environs at once. He enjoyed seeing Earth's well-meaning humanoids squirm. With the destruction of Mondaine and his all-powerful gem of evil that took 7,000 hit points off of me, those horrors ceased. When nothing came of the rumor of a potential successor to this cancer, people were only too eager to accept its falsehood and throw off their cloaks of fear. The evils of the past were gone with their creator and perpetrator. At last the world was beautiful again and life was to be enjoyed, savored. So it was for several years, long enough for a child to grow to adulthood. They were exciting years, for the strange appearance of the Time Doors opened a great era of new learning, a renaissance of timelessness. Creativity burst forth and new works proliferated. No one wanted to notice when the disease began again. But so it did. First, there was a single lost orc a farmer stumbled upon. What was it? Whence came it? Scientists knew in their secret hearts that the orc was the work of a sorcerer, and had that sorcerer had been a benevolent one who'd created the orc by accident, he would have come forward. But they didn't want to know it, so they put it aside. The orc was too sick and hurt to fight when it was first found. When it was sufficiently recovered and it had begun to assert its learned, wrathful ways, it discovered a conundrum in its weak little head. These creatures had saved its life, it grasped that much, and it didn't want to hurt them. Because the lone little orc had never been missed, it was not controlled by magical influences. It persisted with a pleasant benevolence. All the good orcs we see in towns and villages today have descended from this one unusual orc. Apparently they reproduce asexually or something, like mushrooms. Certain types of single-celled organisms? I don't know. But the good people of Earth should have realized its import those years ago. More and more, the evils of darkness began to show Earth. By the time the people acknowledged it, the evil was too powerful, too widespread to be overcome directly. Already its perpetrator was stronger and more wretched than any previous Prince of Darkness had grown too proud to keep silent. Thus was the name of Minax, Enchantress of Evil, made known. She was a master of moving objects spiritually from the age of 3, and proudly apprenticed to Mondaine at age 11. She had acceded to many times his power. The world she created made Mondaine's reign look prosperous and carefree. For Minax was not content to spread evil among the good, causing misery and pain. She preferred to sow seeds of evil in the good, thus set the good against good, leaving no person untouched. Destruction abounded, and guilt and self-hatred tainted the earth. The climax of the devastation was the devastation of 2111, Minax's greatest triumph to date, when ancient civilizations born to love of beauty, of wisdom and reason, turned upon one another and in their vicious anger and hate, destroyed almost all of the very earth that had nurtured them. If it were not for the time doors, you would not be here now. Only the ability to move in time enabled any living thing to survive, as far as is known. Since that awful day, survivors have devoted themselves to grasping the meaning of the event and to rethinking the concept of time and its dimensions. This dedicated group has researched, experimented, and hypothesized in the hope of finding some means of using the time doors to reverse time or to change a cause and reverse its effect. Throughout their studies, two complementary theories persisted. One was that evil was derived from a single overpowering source, which was Minax. The other was that the total elimination of the root cause could reverse its effects from all time, as if all immediacy was the present and all else was the future. That group, which Lord British chairs, extends its deepest respect and admiration to you for heroically volunteering for this extremely dangerous expedition into time. Know before you go that whether you succeed or fail, you will have their gratitude and love. And when you succeed, you will return to the present as it might have and should have been. Those in this small group assure you that they will never forget your great deed. But you should be aware that by the very nature of your success, the future generations prospering in the sunlit glory of the universe that you have made are apt to forget. Your satisfaction must be self-sufficient. If you understand all this and are still willing to venture forth, then go now with their abundant well wishes and the knowledge that their thoughts be with you ceaselessly until you return. Farewell. May the force of good surround you throughout your trek. And why are you doing this? Why are you still here reading this instead of playing Ultima 2? Because you played Ultima 2 and you don't give the story in that game. Like, at all. Also, if you want to look at the credits again, Lord British, aka Richard Garriott, wishes to thank the programming of Richard Garriott. So here are some things. Here are the keyboard commands, just in case you were ever wondering what they were. Why they put them in this order here, I have no idea. I do not understand. But I want you to notice there is a keyboard command for every letter of the alphabet. Yep. They made sure to have one, although for some reason G, H, and I are over here instead of here. P, Q, and R got moved over here instead of here, so, they could have just put all the things in order. You could have done that, guys. Weirdness. Anyway. We're going to scroll back through here. See, they put them in order here, if you want to know what they do. But I'm going to scan through here real quick and just make sure nothing else in this whole manual is actually something that I know I didn't go against here. Or I know I didn't actually cover. Character creation, yeah. We will talk about space in a second. Magic spells, yeah. Only clerics and wizards can use magic. The spells are into 3 categories. Clerics and wizards have access to these 3, the light and ladder spells. Only clerics can use pass wall, surface, prayer. Only wizards can use magic missile, blink, and kill. But I believe I've said in the most recent video I created in the actual Let's Play, there will be no use of magic in the game I'm playing because we will not go into dungeons. Like at all. I suppose I could actually go get Magic Missile and Blink and kill, or Magic Missile and kill, but nah. Could, but they're not useful. I mean, I've got a weapon. Let's see. We've talked about the interface, fight and food, experience, let's see, did you run into anything outside? It's an enemy. Just kind of scanning here. If you want to see what all the weapons were, well, not all the weapons, but we'll get into that soon in the Let's Play, as far as I can tell. Might be the next thing I have to do, but we'll see. And the pubs, I haven't messed with the pub yet. The pub is a place you can actually get some information. But you need to talk to the oracles and all that. That will actually give you more information. Eventually we will go into space. If you die, basically you reload your last save. And in the olden days you actually had to turn off the computer to do it and then reboot the computer with the disk and the disk drive. Those were fun times. Time travel, you've seen me navigate the doors. The doors are confusing to say the least. You can map it out if you want to, but better you find maps online that have already taken care of that, so you don't have to spend any extra amount of time playing this game. But something I don't think I went too far into it, because remember well, I just haven't really had a good excuse to talk about it too much. But there are 5 time periods in this game. Legends is the time before time. That is your end. That is your end goal, basically, to get there and to win the game. Pangea is, well, after that time-wise, but it's kind of there. There's not a whole lot we need to worry about in Pangea. There is one very specific thing that we need to do in Pangea. One very specific thing. But we will get there when we get there. And it doesn't have much to do with the people in it. Although I think there is a town in there that has an item we want. We'll see. BC, that's where we spend the majority of the first part of the game, gathering up enough gold to buy enough food and hit points to move on to the second part of the game, which is getting into the AD and buffing our attributes. And then the aftermath, which has things we definitely need in it, like the rockets. The rockets are in the aftermath. I don't know if I've mentioned that in the Let's Play or not. Don't think I have. But the time doors, eventually they will be replaced by moon gates. And here are the enemies you'll run into out in the open field. I think you've seen me fight at least one of each of those so far. And in towns, you have guards, merchants, jesters. I know I've gotten to the point where I'm fighting guards in the game. I don't have to do that too often, thank God. Getting around, you have a few types of transportation. You can buy horseback. You can buy horses. But, I haven't seen a point to really buying horses. It doesn't do much for you. It does lower the food cost when you're walking around, but, you know, really the only time that's severely useful is in towns. Go figure. Frigates? Well, you will see me do a lot of frigates. Planes? Oh yeah, we gotta do a plane soon, and we gotta do a rocket. Here's the terrain. Walls, castle, dungeon, towers. The Ultima 2 galactic map of known space. When you're in a rocket, you need to know these coordinates. And this is where you get them from. Also, if you have a rocket, do not go to 444 on the map. Do not go to the sun. It will be a very short trip and you will not enjoy yourself. But yeah, there we go. We've now talked about the manual, gotten the story, because that's the only way you're getting the story here. The Atari conversion was done by a guy named Chuckles. Hopefully that wasn't one of their pets. Hopefully that wasn't one of their pets. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, we did this. And, yeah, now back to the Let's Play. Hopefully I will remember to make this the second video, so we actually get into the story and such. But yeah, so until next time, yeah, go ahead and take care. I gotta get back to doing some grinding in this game. Anyway, later all.